So it's just a matter of connecting the dots basically now at this point. Now, one thing I'm not able to do because I'm making a video is to draw these lines lightly to start off with. You really should do that, and when you get happy with the darkness of your or the path of your pencil, then you can go back and darken in the lighter lines that you drew. But since I'm making a video here, I really don't feel that I can do that. But I would suggest that you lightly draw yours in and then go back and darken it. Now, for our sketch, this part in the middle can actually be erased, and it wasn't really necessary that I drew that part there. And another thing I forgot to mention, actually, this is an oblique drawing, but this is a cavalier projection is what this is called. What that means is that the projection is 100% of the actual depth. Okay, that's with a cavalier projection. With a cabinet projection, your depth is half of what it actually would normally be. And so, for example, if let's go back to this. So this is the right side view, and the distance from here to here is about 2.75 units on my scale. So if we were going 100% of the depth, remember we're doubling the scale, it would be 2.75 times 2. With a cabinet projection, we're only going back half of the depth. Okay, so in this case we'll actually just take the 2.75. Okay, I know that might be a little bit confusing, but and the reason why is because we're actually doubling the entire size of the object. So so to say this a different way, if I were not changing the size of the object on a cavalier oblique projection, we would actually be going back 2.75 units on my scale. Under the cabinet projection, we go half of that distance. It'll make a little more sense, but just follow along with the video here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work back from this front edge. We're going to create this plane right in here. So I need to take a couple of measurements. So that's 1.5 basically on my scale, and like I said earlier, that's about 2.75. And also we have that in the middle that goes to the hidden line there, and that's approximately a little over a half, but we'll just call it a half. Alright, so I should probably write that down. That's a half. The depth is 2.75. And see, I already forgot. I knew I should have written that down. That's about one. Yeah, it's 1.5, 1.75, somewhere in that ballpark. Okay. Now, since we doubled the size of the object and we're doing a cabinet projection, we'll actually just use these numbers for our recession lines or receding lines. So it'll go back half as far as this one. Okay. So now I mentioned earlier that 45 is a popular angle to use for the receding lines. But you can use any angle. But the big thing is you want your lines to be parallel. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick an angle with my paper here. Okay, and then I'm going to mark off 2.75. Okay, now I'm going to draw that line. Again, I want to focus on that one. Okay, now from the next line I need to draw would be 1.75. So let me mark that off. Again, I want to try to get this parallel to this one best I can. And put a mark there. And then we'll do for the inside part a half. Okay, so we'll that's just a very, very small amount. So half. And again, you want these lines to be approximately parallel to the first one that we started off with. A half. Now this line will go back 1.75. Again, trying to stay parallel. You want your proportions to stay right. Okay. Now, if I did this right, then this point should be approximately the same elevation as this one. So I want to try to draw a horizontal line straight across. Okay. And ooh, I need another half line there. So do that. And even though this isn't going to stay, I need to put a temporary point here. Okay, just so I can stay level. And box this in. Okay, so now I have pretty much the base of the object, and now I can start working up. Again, I'll take some measurements with my scale, and the height of the object is 3, 4, 5, but I want to double the size. Okay, I'm doubling the scale, so I want to go up 10. So let me go 10, and I'll try to get straight up and down as I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now for this, I'm going to rotate my paper, and I'm going to try to connect these dots again. This is a long line. And that turned out okay. Alright. So, and we can take a measurement on the inside. Okay. So again, using the scale. So that is almost 4. Okay, we'll call it 4, but we'll make this 8. So we need to go up 8 on our double scale, and we want to get this parallel. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And again, I'm going to turn it sideways. And then I will connect the dots. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and we will pick it up with video 3.